Hi guys, it's Anya Alex. Today we'll be talking a little bit about culture. What is it? Two main components of culture that influence our confidence, and how do they actually do that? First, let us start with what is culture. And culture, according to the interculturalist Gert Hofstede, is the collective programming of the mind which distinguishes the members of one group from people from another. In other words, it is what you think that makes you different from other people. It is the values, it is the artifacts, it is the norms that you consider appropriate that constitute culture. How does it influence our self esteem? Well, culture is something that is all around us, it is what we grow up with. So, culture actually influences our self esteem because we take certain values and then we try to apply it into our lives. But sometimes those values are different from our own values. It is also possible to have grown up with two cultures, such as if you're Mexican American, Turkish Dutch, Indian British, etc. And then those cultures can actually clash into your head. So you might actually feel that something is more important to you when you're speaking English, but then when you switch to your other native language, that thing doesn't really seem to be that as important anymore. And then you experience this inner conflict of values due to the two cultures clashing together. In other words, your values that make you fit into your culture make you feel more confident, and the values that actually make you feel like an outsider make you feel much more insecure. Now, let's take a look at the two key culture aspects that influence our confidence. First off, we're going to start with Florence Cocones, who is a cultural anthropologist. He has coined the term collectivism and individualism as value orientations, which means in different cultures, um, some cultures place more value on collectivism and others on individualism. But what do those words mean? Collectivism means that people are together most of the time. They value family before themselves, they value the group and the health of the group before their own. So, collectivism is actually the value orientation where you put others before you, where you are brought up to respect authority, to respect hierarchy, and to work together in a team. Individualism, on the other side, is when you are taught to be alone. You are taught to do everything on your own because you are your own individual. In individualist countries and cultures, you're actually taught that your own achievement is better than achieving something great with a group. You are more inclined to fight for independence, to not ask for help from others, and to believe that you are perfect on your own. The second cultural aspect is defined by Gert Hofstede, and it actually is not about how people perceive themselves as masculine or feminine, but how the cultures react. So, what they value. Masculinity means that cultures value competitiveness, assertiveness, flashy and flashy things, material success. While femininity, they value more relationships, they value more quality of life than quantity as in masculinity. They value more that people are equal and they're not as much competitive. So, how do those things can influence your confidence? Well, for example, if you're an individualist in a culturalist culture, you actually feel very out of place. When you want to do something on your own, you feel isolated because people around you cluster together. And the opposite is also true. When you're a collectivist in an individualist country, you also feel alienated because you want to be together with people, you want to rely on someone, but everyone around you refuses just because they think that you have to be on your own. Both sides have both sides are correct, and it really just depends on who you are. Which is why I have actually prepared two exercises for you. to reflect on your culture and the culture that you're in right now, or maybe the two cultures that are clashing in you if you're bicultural. The first one is cultural collectivism or individualism, and the second is cultural masculinity or femininity. You can find them in the reference guide, and I really hope that they will provide much insight into what you are doing as well as what others are doing, because most cultural clashes happen because we ourselves do not know our own culture. We see that the other is different, but we do not know what exactly makes it different from ours. So when you know what exactly your culture is, and when you know what the culture you're living in is, you can start to shift your frame of reference. You can start shifting how you see the world, and then you can see that some of the qualities that are supposedly not good in the culture you're in are actually ingrained in you from the culture you're brought up with. For example, if you are coming from a competitive culture and you're very competitive, you go into a more feminine culture where everyone is sort of equal. They just try to do the bare minimum instead of being the best and doing everything the best they can. They're more likely to do it good, as good as they can without actually putting too much effort into it, and then going out to enjoy their lives. And in that situation, you might actually feel out of place because uh, people from feminine cultures tend to stay away from people from masculine cultures because they find them intimidating. So I have prepared the questions for you, which you can find in the reference guide. And I hope to see you in the next video where we will be talking about environment, the types of environments, and how they affect your confidence. Until then.